Hello, welcome to this video. So I live in Toronto, but I used to live in Montreal. I lived in Montreal for 10 years. So I always travel there and usually I drive or I take the train.
Today I'm gonna try something new and fly to Montreal to see if it's actually more convenient than taking the train. Is it that much more expensive? Do you actually save time? And most importantly, does Montreal's brand new airport, the Metropolitan, make a difference? This new airport is supposed to be Montreal's equivalent of Billy Bishop Airport in Toronto. The promise is a smaller, less crowded airport with faster operations and easier access to downtown Montreal.
So we're gonna track everything, how much I paid, how comfortable it is, the logistics. First thing I realized is that it's so much more work to take the plane because you have to prepare so much. I had to check in online. I had to make everything fit in this very tiny bag because I don't want to pay for an extra bag. And by the way, they might make me pay for an extra bag because this one is way too big compared to the regulations, but let's see if I get lucky.
So while I'm back to Billy Bishop's airport, let's check how much I paid for my ticket. So I paid 297 Canadian dollars round trip, which is roughly $150 per trip. The train prices are around $120, I would say, average. So the difference here isn't that big.
Okay, so it took me 10 minutes to bike to the airport. I live close to the Trinity Bellhoods Park, so it was very, very efficient.
And when I got inside the airport, I saw bad news. Very, very bad news. Can you read what I'm reading right now?
Okay, comes out, my flight is delayed by 2 hours. No matter what happens, I'm already gonna take more time than if I took the train. But to be frank, the train is always late as well. I at least always have like 40 minutes of delay or whatever. So you know what, let's try to stay positive for now, but not off to a good start, guys.
Instead of being negative, I decided to just follow through the process of getting ready for the flight. Also, first time flying from Billy Bishop, and it's a really nice airport, and it's on an island, so you have to cross a part of the lake to go there. And I always thought it was a boat somehow, but it's actually a tunnel. And also the airport is very nice. Love the view.
Then came the big moment of checking in, trying to get in with this big bag, and also check the details of the delay.
My bag was too big, as suspected. So yeah, my bag was way too big, so I had to find a way to make it smaller, so I'm like wearing so many layers. Also, big updates, there is no delay, so I completely hallucinated the delay.
Okay guys, so what happened is that when I got in, I saw delayed, cancelled, and I freaked out, and I forgot to look up, and it was actually the arrivals.
Got the approval for the bag, and now I have like 55 sweaters that I have to wear with me at all time. It is extremely overwhelming. Clearly, so far, it's not being the best.
At this moment, I'm sweating, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where I'm gonna put all these sweaters. I'm wondering if they're gonna let me in the plane with all of that. I'm sincerely regretting my choice of taking the plane at this moment. It feels 10 times more overwhelming, more tiring, so much logistics, you're constantly moving. So I did pass security with all my sweaters, but I decided that I needed to buy a bag. Worst case scenario, I would pretend that I bought everything that is in a bag in the boarding area, so you know they would let me pass with it. Find this bag. I'm looking very, very pro Canada right now, which I am, so I don't mind.
All right, guys, that was definitely an adventure. Definitely not the smoothest. I'm sweating, I'm warm, I struggled, I had to negotiate. This whole thing is a lot. So far, big shout out to the train. It's so much easier. Let's see how it goes. But actually, yeah, I completely hallucinated the delay. I don't know what happened there, but I really thought there was a big delay, and actually there is nothing. We left at 12 and now it's 1:10. The flight is supposed to take off at 2. Let's see if it actually happens, because we know how it is, right? 5 minutes ago it was 2 hours late, and now it's on time suddenly, so you know things might change. You know, we never know.
So there are two main things that I wanted to check in the boarding zone. I wanted to see if I could work, and I wanted to see if I could get food for an affordable price. When it comes to working, I clearly could work very, very properly. There were like chairs and like tables and everything. And then when it comes to food, the options were quite generous, but prices were definitely on the expensive side. I got this sandwich for $13. It definitely was not worth $13, and I got a cookie and a coffee after that because it wasn't enough for me. So I definitely spent a good $25 on food. I think it's very comparable to what I would pay in the Via Rail train if I were to get something from the train. And it's now 2:15 and it's finally time to board. So obviously there is a bit of a delay, 30 minutes delay. How comfortable it is, I would say it's a 6 out of 10. The train is way more comfortable, easily 3 times more comfortable. You get way more space. You get an outlet. I think if you want to charge your phone or your computer, whatever. Also, the space you get, I mean, this plane from Porter Airlines is a very small one. It feels like a bus, you know? So I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable experience, but obviously doesn't last quite as long as the train. So, you know, it's okay. Although logistics were very intense until now, I gotta admit that there is nothing better than being in a plane. It's so dreamy and so beautiful. I'm like a big kid, but I still enjoy being above the clouds for a little bit. And that experience is priceless. I gotta give a point to the plane for that. It's 3:45 and we just arrived in Montreal new Metropolitan Airport located in Longueuil. The flight was an hour and 15 minutes, I guess. The fact that this airport is dedicated to local flight and is also smaller definitely speeds up the process of getting out of the plane. It was very smooth. I think it took us probably 10 minutes from the moment we landed to the moment that I got in the airport. Shout out to them for that. It's definitely more efficient on that side. First impression of the airport, it looks really fresh. It actually smells like a new car. It smells like fresh leather, new leather. I definitely feel like for this airport, they really went the extra mile to make a beautiful space. And I can see that airport age really well 10 20 years from now because they made it really well. Okay, so now time to go to Montreal. So I checked my option with public transportation. At the moment there is not a lot of options, but I made a video on my Instagram talking about this new airport and the airport answered. I think I saw somewhere that there was some kind of bus that was about to come that would bring people to the Longueuil metro, if I'm not mistaken. So there will be options. For now, Uber felt like the smoothest option. And let me tell you, it wasn't that smooth. I tried to order my Uber from the airport and he said, do you want spot 1 or spot 2? And I told myself spot 1 would be the best. And I had to walk 14 minutes with all my stuff to a random location that made no sense. So just made it to the place. I have no idea why it's bringing me here. When I tell you, it's so random, the location. First of all, I had to walk 15 minutes to come here. And you know, why would I walk 15 minutes with luggage if I just flew? I think the Uber app is probably not used to the airport yet. Look guys, I don't know, but at this point, I'm really not happy with the flying experience. It is definitely very heavy, way heavier, 10 times heavier than taking the train or taking my car to come here. So yeah, so far, I mean, obviously a lot of it comes from the fact that it's a new airport and everything, but it wasn't a smooth experience. I'm not gonna lie. It's been pretty intense and heavy. I think we probably saved a little bit of time compared to the train or driving. I mean, driving, I think it would be probably equal, but let's see when we get home. At the moment we're talking, it's 4:30. As a reminder, we left the house at 12, so it's been 4 hours and 30 minutes. I am technically in Montreal, on the south shore of Montreal. Yeah, let's see when I get home. Hi, Framiga.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Sorry.
No worries. You know, I was at the airport and I ordered the Uber and they put the pickup location here.
Yeah.
How weird is that?
You were at the airport?
Yeah, I had to walk 15 minutes. I was like, why?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It took us 50 minutes to get to downtown Montreal. I was staying in a house in Chinatown, so it was not even that far on the island. And it still took 50 minutes because obviously it was also 4 p.m. So, you know, definitely a busy time. I cannot say that it's more practical than going to Montreal from Trudeau International Airport. Maybe even harder if I'm being fully honest. It was maybe the 4th day of operation for the new airport. So let's give them a chance. And obviously, again, as I said, new options are coming soon.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. Good luck with the traffic.
Okay guys, time to debrief. So When it comes to the price, I paid $150 for the ticket to come, and I paid actually $150 for my way back as well. So in total, $300. Also paid an extra $10 because I really love to be on the window side in a plane. So in total, it was $160. When it comes to also what I paid to get to the airport in Toronto, again, I live in close to Liberty Village, and I paid $3 to bike to the airport. I think a Uber would probably be 10 or 15 bucks, so very affordable. When it comes to what I paid from the new Montreal airport to my mom's place where I stay when I'm in Montreal, she lives in Chinatown. I paid $46, which is a lot of money, and the ride was very long. It was almost 50 minutes, a bit more than $200 to come. When I use the train, it's usually between 90, if I'm lucky, to 120 per ticket. And plus, I usually take the streetcar to go to the train station. It's very straightforward, so it's like $3 in Toronto, and then I take usually a Uber from the train station to my mom's place, and it's usually 15 bucks. We're talking about an average, I would say 130, 140 max. You know, there is a bit of a price difference, but if you think about it, there is not that much of a price difference. Then obviously there are some additional things, like, you know, I bought a sandwich, and the sandwich was very expensive because everything you buy at the airport is pretty expensive. But you know, when it comes to the price tag, I think the difference is worth it because you do make it a bit earlier. Door to door, it took me 5 hours and 10 minutes from my door in Toronto in Liberty Village to my mom's door in Chinatown, Montreal. It took me 5 hours and like 10 minutes. It's the best I could do. Sometimes when I drive really fast with my car, I do it in 5 hours and 20 minutes. So look, it's very comparable, but driving is very tiring. And I pay around maybe $75 of gas, but again, there's all the maintenance on the car and everything. So I think there is a bit more cost if you look at it on the long term. When it comes to the level of comfort, I think it was probably the most uncomfortable I felt. It's very similar to the bus experience. Anyone who's done the Montreal to Toronto bus experience know that it can be challenging. I really don't like the bus, although it's one of the most affordable way. It was very similar. It was extremely uncomfortable. I had to empty my bag in the airport. I had to find a way to put all my sweaters somewhere. I had to buy a bag. I had to move around a lot. My bag was heavy. It's just taking the plane is so much logistics because you have to move around so much. You have to wait a lot. It was really uncomfortable. I think the luxury of being, let's say when you take the train, the luxury of being able to be set somewhere, to staying there for 5 hours, it's very steady. The whole thing is way easier. So yeah, in terms of comfort, I would say it was one of the worst, to be frank. And I don't necessarily recommend the plane. It was very logistically heavy and tiring, and obviously it's a bit faster, but at the end of the day, if you look at everything overall, it's not that much faster. I probably saved 1 hour compared to the train when I paid way more money, and I was much more uncomfortable. And honestly, I think I'm more tired right now. I felt like I traveled all day. It literally felt like I'm from France, and sometimes I travel to France. I feel I feel there is no jet lag and whatever, but it's not that far because taking the airplane itself is so heavy, because you gotta, get to the airport in advance and figure out the logistics and go through security, take all your shit out. And so, yeah, overall, it was nice to try. I'm not gonna do that again, except if I really have a time issue, which was the reason why I took the plane this time, is because I'm not coming for a long time, and I was I'm working at the same time remotely, and I was I want the thing that would make it the easiest, and comes out, it doesn't make it easier than the train at all. So that's my conclusion. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. Consider following me. I'm gonna make a lot of videos, documenting my life in Toronto, documenting my stays in Montreal, as I come a lot here. I lived 10 years in Montreal, so I come here a lot. So if you're interested in this, make sure to follow, and I'll see you very soon.